What's going on, world? Just gonna be reading from Brian Klemmer's If How-Tos Were Enough, We Would All Be Skinny, Rich, and Happy. So, feel free to listen. I might stop to jot down some notes, but I'm starting from chapter 5. Reality is for those who lack imagination. To think is to create. Question: do you think, or does thinking think you? There was a man who washed windows for a living. He wasn't very happy, so he went to a positive thinking pep rally, motivational type seminar. He got positive and motivated and went back to his job washing windows. One day he was washing windows on the 15th floor, saying to himself, I'm a great window washer. I'm a fantastic window washer. I'm an incredible window washer. While he was shouting these affirmations, his scaffolding broke. He started falling, much like the cartoon character Wile E. Coyote. A couple on the 3rd floor heard this positive thinking window washer as he passed, yelling to himself, so far so good, so far so good. The moral of the story, he still fell to the ground despite all of his positive thinking. To think is to create. A simple way to state the philosophy we have been discussing is this: to think is to create. While it appears to be a simple statement, it is not an easy one to follow, to fully understand. You may have heard it explained many different ways. The Bible states in Proverbs 23, chapter 23, verse 7, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Napoleon Hill said, whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can conceive. James Allen said, a man is literally what he thinks. To create a different life than you have, you must understand and internalize the truth behind the words, to think is to create. Ask yourself, what does thinking really mean? Thinking positively did not create a new reality for the window washer. He still hit the ground. Obviously, there is nothing wrong with positive thinking. It is a good thing, but it doesn't go far enough. Positive thinking won't fix a child on drugs, break a spending habit, or bail a company out of debt. Positive thinking just doesn't quite go far enough to create results in the way we mean results. To better understand the fundamental premise of our weekend leadership seminar, Personal Mastery, look at the 3-leveled snowman here. This is a human being. You can use many different names to label the levels, so don't get hung up on the labels. Rather, begin to play detective and explore for yourself the ideas and concepts of each level. The first level. This level has been called the head, the conscious mind, the lower self, and other names. This level, conscious mind, the lower self, and this level consists of reason, logic, and your 5 physical senses: sight, hearing, smell, taste, and touch. The second level. Have you ever used an alarm clock to wake up? If you were asleep, who heard the alarm clock? Some of you might be saying that your spouse did, but if you were alone, who heard it? Obviously, you heard it. There has to be at least 2 levels to you, one that goes to sleep and one that does not. The first level, or the conscious mind, is the one that goes to sleep. The second level, or the subconscious mind, is the one that never goes to sleep. It hears the alarm clock and wakes you up. This level consists of your emotions, memory banks, subconscious thinking, automatic system, which runs from your heart to your lungs, subjective 5 senses, and intuition. The third level. Unlike the first 2 levels, which are finite circles, the third level is drawn as half circle to indicate the infinite. You choose to call this third or infinite level God, but you are free to call it in another name, the universe or the superconscious. There are also common names for this level. One of the lessons I learned from my children is that the names they call me, pops, dad, father, stepdad, or even old man, are not as important as the attitude with which they speak to me. The positive window washer was thinking with his first level or conscious mind, but conscious thinking rarely changes an outcome. Think hard and say it out loud. I'm the president of the United Nations. Did this conscious first level thinking make you president? Simply thinking with your conscious mind does not create the reality, the results that you want. It takes something more powerful than simple reason and logic to achieve results. To think is to create. Refers to your thinking at the second level. Your deep-seated assumptions assist at this level. You are who you are, how life works, what you think success is, and what it takes to be successful. This is where your sunglasses are kept and where the maps of your subconscious thinking can be found. Challenging your beliefs. Do you think experience happens to you, or do you think you create it? Do you think you are a body or something more on a personal, more than only a physical entity? It is not what is true, but it is what you think is true. Your fundamental beliefs that determine your idea of what your reality is for you. It is not what is true, but it is what you think is true. Your fundamental beliefs that determines your idea of what reality is for you. Consider travel. The decisions made about traveling were not based on the shape of the world, whether it was flat or round, but on what people thought the shape of the world was. When they thought the world was flat, they didn't go far. But when they thought it was round, they ventured much further. Did the world change? The following exercise illustrates how thinking creates our experience. Take a piece of paper and write your full name on it as many times as you can with your non-writing hand in 60 seconds. Then, and only then, continue reading this book. I don't know, son. I don't really feel like sitting here and writing my name for 60 seconds with my left hand. I think I'm gonna keep going. What did you experience? Some people did not do the exercise. Some did, but didn't go very fast. Some were competitive. Some were worried about consistency. Some just had fun. And some thought it was a stupid exercise. What did you feel? What caused you to feel that way? I cannot tell you what caused you to feel that way, but I can give you several viewpoints or ways of looking at how you reacted. Okay, just for the record, next time when it gives me an activity to do in the book, I'm going to actually do it. And I think we should do it together. Even though it looks like there's only one person watching, you and I are going to do the exercise in the book if an exercise comes up again. Deal? High five or fist bump, whatever we have to do with Corona. All right. I cannot tell you what caused you to feel this way, but I can give you several viewpoints or ways to look at how you reacted. When I do this exercise in a seminar, I keep telling people how many seconds are left and encourage them to go faster. I'll even count down the last few seconds. When I ask people what caused the various feelings they experience, I always get a variety of answers. Your tone of voice irritated me. I was uncomfortable using my non-writing hand. I felt pressure because you were counting down the time. I didn't experience pressure. It was simply curious to see what this exercise was about. I had fun. Because there are many different responses, you have to wonder, if we were all doing the same thing, why are we all having so many different experiences or feelings? There are two fundamentally different ways that people think about the world and what creates our experiences. Belief number one, doing equals experience. With belief number one, what you or someone else is doing creates your experience. Most people think this way. They say, of course I'm upset. My boss just yelled at me. Their viewpoint or set of sunglasses sets the actions of someone else, create their experience. lets the actions of someone else create their experience. The boss yelling at them caused them to be upset, or so they say. Of course, I'm feeling insecure. I just lost my job. As if losing your job has anything to do with how you choose to feel. Most people think it does. The problem with belief is that if circumstances and people dictate your experience, you are at the mercy of everyone and everything. You have no power and never will have power. That's real shit right there. I think we should write that down. If you let people and circumstances dictate your experience, you are at the mercy of everyone and everything. Gotta stay in control. Feel me? Can't lose that control. Feel what I'm saying? Cool. Belief number 2. Thinking equals experience. With belief number 2, your subconscious thinking creates your experience. Remember the snowman? Your thinking in the second level, your subconscious level, the one that never goes to sleep, is what determines your bank balance. Whether you're single or married, happy or stressed out, or any other aspects of your life. The advantage of belief number 2 is that it is usually easier to change your subconscious thinking than to change what other people, the economy, or your spouse are doing. In the handwriting example, belief number 1 would say that pressure is caused by the person counting down 25, 24, 23, and what they are doing. But with belief number 2, the pressure is created by internal thinking, since many other people heard the same thing counting down but did not feel pressure. Belief number 2 seems to be the more logical one. Also, it is easier to change our internal thinking than it is to stop someone else from counting down. How do you change your thinking at the second level? It really isn't that difficult. People do it all the time, and so can you. The answer is visualization, the only language of the second level. Here's the T. What is visualization? To begin with, do you use visualization? Do you use visualization unconsciously with no guidance by your first level, or do you consciously apply the use of visualization with no guidance by your second level? Do you want your odds of success to be those of winning a lottery, or do you want the odds to be stacked in your favor? Obviously, you want the second. So consider this. If you don't apply visualization consciously, then your subconscious will apply it according to your beliefs, and you will recreate what you already have. Clearly, visualization is a combination of both levels. It begins in the first level and then works through the second level. That is why it is so powerful. Unfortunately, a lot of people hear the word visualization and immediately discount it. Some have a religious persuasion that categorize visualization and imagination as new age, while others discount visualization because they don't understand it. Whatever the reason, visualization is a neutral tool, much like money. Money can be applied for good things, such as building a home, or bad things, such as illegal drugs. Anyone can apply visualization techniques. In 1996, I attended a Christian Leaders Conference in Hawaii run by Harrison International Seminars. It was fantastic, and we now attend every year. I was privileged to speak at the 1996 conference, and the speaker after me was Oral Roberts. He spoke for an hour and a half on visualization. Regardless of your opinions about him, would you classify the well-read Bible expert as a new age guru? Yet he uses visualization. Visualization is reproducing a picture in your mind of something you've seen. When I interviewed The pentathlon Olympic athlete and former world record holder Marilyn King, she said no athlete in their right mind would attempt to compete at his elite level without using some form of visualization. Even Thomas Edison utilized visualization as well as imagination to invent. Keep in mind that visualization is different from imagination. Visualization is is reproducing a picture in your mind of something you have seen. Look at the floor and close your eyes and see the floor. That's visualization. Whether you see in detail or have a blurry perception on the floor, the degree of detail is a skill level. Now imagine the carpet is made totally of thick rice milk chocolate. Presuming you have never seen a chocolate carpet before, this is imagination. Imagination is creating a picture of something you've never seen. Again, you may see it in detail or only in a brown blur. The degree of detail is a skill level. It doesn't matter. This is imagination because you have not actually seen the chocolate carpet. How do you consciously apply visualization? There are many methods and books on this subject, so I'll keep it simple. Athletes see a picture of themselves throwing a perfect pass or sacking the quarterback. They often call it mental rehearsal. You can visualize an upcoming job interview or how you will complete a sale, or even the perfect interaction between you and your child. You can also engage in negative visualization, as most people do. For instance, you might have visualized an outcome such as failing a job interview that you did not desire and even had a strong emotional reaction. That's called fear. The hard part is visualizing what you don't believe is possible or real. Imagination is creating a picture of something you have never seen. One of the simplest methods for visualizing in this case is called the screen of the mind. And it's just like watching a movie. On your screen, visualize your situation as it is now. For example, let's say you're renting an apartment and you want to own a home. You would see yourself in your apartment